everybody, Doc here. Today I'm going to show you a little bit of a brand new game that just came out. It's by Playful, and they gave us early access to it, and it's called Creativerse. Now you may notice a very strong similarity to other games that we have played here at LABventures, but I assure you, this is not a fantasy zombie fighting game. This is, in fact, a tech tree driven... Ooh, hello. Hi, Pigsy. This is a tech tree driven science fiction game. Now, I've lucked out a little bit. It looks like I've got some beeswax right here. I haven't seen that in a spawn point. In fact, I haven't seen it at all, and I've been playing for a few hours on a different world. But I just loaded this world up to show you and walk you through some of the things. Now, first that you'll notice differently, down here on the bottom, on the heads-up display, is that I've got inventory, but I also have, driven by my tab key, a second hand, if you will. And the second hand is going to allow me, with my default stick, to actually have a weapon right from the start. Now, sorry about this, friend. You have things I need. Took a bit of a beating there. That's okay, because he's given me a red mushroom and a bone, which I need for early crafting. Now I'm going to show you a trick. I don't know if this is a bug, but it's certainly something I discovered. Oops. That being a little bit higher than the pixie, it makes it harder for him to hit. And he managed to get up here, but I only took one hit that time. Oh, great, a hoof. Now, how do you mine, you might ask? Well, that's what this other thing is for. And you'll notice on my hand I've got some kind of weird device. Well, this device is actually my mining tool. There's no picks, there's no shovels, and everything else, like wood, leaves, and even dirt, can just be sucked right into it. Now, there isn't really a backstory or a metafiction that goes along with this, but there is kind of, I guess, an assumption on my part that this science fiction-like device is actually just a bit like a teleporter, and it's just bringing things into a pattern, sort of Star Trek style. So instead of having 64 stacks of something in my inventory carrying around in my pants, I could imagine that the pattern, the energy pattern for the things that I'm picking up are actually being stored in some kind of energy cell. I like this. I'm a fiction guy, I'm a narrative guy, so having just a little more of a thing that makes sense like that to explain away how it is that I'm able to carry large stacks of things. Also, we're not limited to 64 in the stack in this game, so that's pretty awesome. Okay. I see a couple more pigsies. So let's pop over here, smack them on the head, and then we'll start worrying about crafting some early things. Now, crafting's done a little bit differently. As I said, this is sort of tech tree driven, so it's not going to be putting things into a crafting table like you may be used to. There we go, he had a little bit of a hard timer hitting me because I was standing up higher than him. I'm actually going to let him just coast right off the edge. By denying him somewhere to get up, I think maybe that's making it easier. I don't know, it might just be my imagination. Alright. So then, hitting escape brings up these options, but going into my inventory with E shows the things that I have, and the first thing you'll notice is a teleporter. You start the game with a teleporter and with a port crystal. This is cool because the teleporter, even when you throw it down, and I'll do that real fast, just set it here for now, you can still see it's in my inventory. For demonstration purposes here, I'll throw it down somewhere else. So it's like this pattern always exists, and no matter where you are, you can put your teleporter down. Now the neat thing about this is, no matter how far away I get from my teleporter, I can still teleport to my teleporter. It's a quick and easy way to get home. Now actually, this little hill is not a bad place to start. So I may just build myself a bag-end style hobbiton right here on this hill. First though, I need to check my basic crafting. And there are 3 things that I can build from the start. Yes, there is a crafting table, but in order to do that, it tells me what I need. And I don't have to put things into a pattern, but I do need to have, call it, the recipe. And I have the recipe by having the necessary ingredients, which I don't at the moment. So I need to go find some vines and some crag wood. And notice I do have wood, but it's the wrong kind of wood. So one of these trees has got to be cragwood. Also, one of these trees most certainly is going to have some vines on it. Oop. So I'll suck in some leaves. Oh, that is ashen wood. Not what I am looking for. But it will be handy, so I'll grab it. Looks like the sun is going down, and although that may inspire some fear, it doesn't inspire quite as much, because the creatures that are in the evening that come out, they are not quite as deadly or explosive. At least not at first. There's some cragwood. So I'm going to need quite a bit of this. I think I'll go ahead and just chop down most of this tree. I was kind of hoping when I got into this. Oh, good vines, or I should say moss. I was hoping that when you cut down a tree, that the whole tree would fall. It's one of my favorite Minecraft mods, but no, it appears to be pure and true to the original vanilla style. Now, one thing I've noticed is a little bit of a bug. If you jump up and do what I just did, you can actually mine or harvest from 1 block higher than you're supposed to be able to, but only if you're already pressing the button. So just kind of aim at something else and then aim a little bit to your left, and then you should be able to grab it. The build range is a little bit lower than I'd like. It's about 2 blocks, maybe 3 blocks, depending on how you're counting, if you're counting the block itself. But it makes nerd pulling up a little bit hard, a little bit difficult, and it also makes building walls a little bit difficult. And also, if you hold down the build key, it doesn't auto-repeat. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about or what I mean, again, nerd pulling is really difficult, because instead of just holding down the button and laying down building material and then jumping, it is really, really hard. This tree is enormous. I don't think I'm going to harvest the whole thing after all. But I definitely have enough to get started. I can't help but point out the graphics here. Look at the beautiful, beautiful sky, the galaxy in the background. This is all default texture. This is how the game comes. It's HD, it's beautiful. This is the maximum quality, but anyway, it's fantastic. Don't know why I'm walking back to my base. I can do this. Boom, here I am. Okay, so just checking my inventory again real quick. Basic crafting. I now have what I need for a moss torch. So I'll craft 8 of those. I do not have what I need for a crafting table yet, because I'm still missing those vines. But that's okay, because I can toss down this moss torch begin to light up my Hobbit Hill. There we go. Again, beautiful sky. So clearly what I need before I can do anything else is some vines. So you may think it's a little bit interesting to note that in order to do all of this, you've got to have 3 materials. You've got to have a very specific type of wood, you've got to have vines, and in order to make this crafting table at least, you've got to have bone. So some of the recipes are a little more complicated in the sense that you need the materials, you need more materials, but it's less complicated in the fact that you don't have to put it down in a specific pattern. So I don't have to remember, you know, that it's 8 wood and it goes in a circle and that sort of thing. So you'll notice it's getting evening. I'm not really scared for my life. I've got my default stick that you start with, and default weapon. I think that's a great touch. And I think I'll be okay. And the truth is, even if I'm not, keep inventory is turned on by default, which I think is a good touch. I'm not a fan of it on most servers for Minecraft, but I think for this, because of the way the gameplay works, it was the right decision. I'm also not worried about getting lost, because I've got the teleport feature. So even though I'm about to wander off and do these other things, so it really feels like a different experience completely. Having a little bit of difficulty finding vines, which is strange, because they are so very common in the world. I will also point out this. It's not quite important yet, but this is a brown mushroom. They occur in the ground. Some mushrooms, like red mushrooms, occur on the ground, but these are in the ground. And I had a heck of a time finding those the first time around. Well, I don't know where the vines are. Maybe I've walked past them and I just didn't spot it. You'll notice that these glowing mushrooms I can't get yet. I'm going to have to get something called a battery pack and power up my little hand device before I can do that. And that's one of the first recipes that you get after the crafting table, which if I get those vines, I'll show you. Heading for these flowers, though. Anytime you see a flower of whatever color, which are always in the trees, it seems, grab them. Is that moss or vines? It's moss. But moss is good, so I'll grab it. Well, while I'm doing this, let me explain to you how it is that Playful is going to make their money off of this game. Right now it's on Steam and it's $20, which is more than worth it for this early access. Other games, similar types of games like the LABventures game, some of the 2D versions, sort of Minecraft-like games, and some of the space games. They've been well worth the price, and of course, Minecraft is well worth the price. And there's tons and tons and tons and tons of mods, and you can even have space mods and things like that for that. But $20 for this is more than fair. But that's not actually how Playful's going to make their money in the long run. A lot of people are kind of reacting to the fact that they are going to be making their money off of microtransactions. Now, what's interesting is, in this version, I've already got 400 of their little economy points. This is all coming soon. It's not here yet. Bottles of Mojo, pro recipes, bundles, that sort of thing. But a lot of people are saying, we don't like the idea of microtransactions. But at this point, really the only thing that those points are used for, and I got 400 of them for the $20 that I would have spent. Playful gave us an early access code, so I didn't actually spend the money, but so thanks Playful for that. Shout out, woohoo! But it's well worth the $20 because those codes then let you speed up crafting. Well, hang on. What do you mean speed up crafting? Crafting isn't instantaneous? No, it's not. And so once we get our vines and once we build our box, I'll show you that. But when if you think about it, when in Minecraft you look for stuff and you craft stuff and you build stuff, there's a waste that goes into it. You're always standing around and you're waiting for something to not necessarily be crafted, because crafting is instantaneous, but you're waiting for, say, charcoal to cook, for meat to cook, that sort of a thing. So the idea of waiting for something to be prepared is not a new idea. That's actually something that's happened before, and we're fairly used to it. But what this means is that with those points that I was showing you, those in-game economy points, you can actually buy sped up cook, if you will, or craft in this case. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to keep looking for vines. I'll catch up with you in just a second here. And found this little forest glade here. I'm not that far from my base, it's back that direction. But I found a couple of interesting things. The first is this log just laying here, which is a nice touch. Very nice touch, Playful. So we're going to grab that. But here's the vines.